What is up, boys and girls? Welcome to the Paupers Show. Today, I will be taking you back to War of the Spark. We're going to look at another Planeswalker deck. This one is called Jace Arcane Strategist. And it is a blue and green deck. In Guilds of Ravnica terms, we call this a Simic deck for anyone who doesn't know. And it says, well, have a look at the back, Jace, Arcane Strategist. Jace Bellerin likes to stay 2 steps ahead of his enemies. The telepathy helps with that. Wow. Dodge your opponent's defenses, disrupt their plans, and relentlessly take over the board. I think this is a like counters-based deck. Yeah, let's crack it open and see what we get. This will be a, by the way, this will be a 2-part video. The first part, I'm just going to open the product. In the second part, we will be looking a little bit more into what you could do to possibly like upgrade the deck. So say about with just paying another, 10, 12 bucks. How you can upgrade the deck, keep it in standard format from when War of the Spark was in standard. Obviously, we're not going to do too crazy things like go into modern or legacy or anything like that. Just keep it standard. Have a look at what we can do to upgrade the deck as well and make it even more powerful. Awesome. Check this. Here we go. We'll start with deck box itself. Wow, look at Jace. One of the main planeswalkers of Magic the Gathering. Let's have a look. We get 2 booster packs as well. We'll put them to the side. We'll do that. That's like a last thing. Close this one here. Let's have a look. Hey, before you play, get one of these little brochures talking a little bit more about the deck and terms that you should know. So the mechanics for this deck is counters. It deals with permanence, and the main thing, which is proliferate. Proliferate basically means that you can add another counter of any counter type on the battlefield. So like loyalty counters on planeswalkers and, +1/+1 counters, so on and so forth. Okay, let's have a look. Start with Jace himself. Jace Arcane Strategist. So the cool thing with this one and War of the Spark in general is that when War of the Spark came out, it introduced something, something new to planeswalkers, and these were static abilities. So you don't have to activate them; they're just there, or static or triggered abilities. So, for example, with this particular one, it says whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. +1, draw a card, and the ultimate is creatures you control can't be blocked this turn. Awesome. And we're going to open the pack itself. I'm just going to have a look to see if there are any codes with this one. Oops. Almost pull the whole thing down. Yes, it is. There is a code. This code I will say for the Maori Wargamer. These are the 2 reference cards on how you cast spells, what to do on your turn. Sorry, guys, I won't be sharing the code with you on this one here. Let's have a look. So we're going to start off with Spark Double. Fairly powerful card, this one. I've seen it before. I really, really like it. So it triggers when it enters the battlefield. You get, you can copy something, but you also get an additional +1/+1 counter on it if it's a creature. If it enters with an additional loyalty counter on it, if it's a planeswalker, and it it doesn't become legendary, so the legendary rule doesn't apply to it. If you don't know what that rule is, basically what it is that you can't have the exact same 2 legendary cards on the battlefield under your control. You can only have 1. If you play one, the one that's already on the battlefield automatically gets destroyed and goes into the graveyard. Let's move on. Bioessence Hydra, a 5-drop 4/4, interacts really well with Planeswalkers, pretty powerful. You get a Jace's Rouse. So this is the one where you fetch this Planeswalker. You get 2 of those. And we have another Planeswalker, Kiora, Behemoth Beckoner. Really cool Planeswalker to play in this deck. It allows you to keep your momentum by drawing cards, and you can also untap a permanent as well. Kiora's Dambreaker, 1, you get 2 of those. A Bloom Hulk, 1, 2, 3 of those. You get a Pollen Bright Druid. This is not a bad card. 1, 2, 3 of those. A Primordial Worm. A Crocodile with a Hexproof. A Skydiver. 1, 2. Guildpack Informant, flying 1/1 drop. When it deals damage to a player or Planeswalker, you get to proliferate. He's whispering something in Jace's ear. What are you saying? Of course you're being followed. Okay. Are you whispering or are you screaming? I don't know. 2, 3. You get a playset of those. Jace's Projections. 1, 2, 3. And you get a dual land as well, Simic Guildgate. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get a playset of those. Look at the artwork on this one, it's beautiful. And you get the islands. Let's see how many there are. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I think it's a bit of too many lands. I would never recommend to play more than 24. Depends on what your deck is doing, obviously, but yeah, 25 is definitely too much. Jace's Triumph is the next card. You get one of those. Stealth Mission and another Stealth Mission. And you get a Band Together instant. 1, 2. Courage in Crises. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, then proliferate. Get 2 of those. Cool. And New Horizons. 2 of those as well. Helps with your mana, and you can ramp up a little bit as well. It's a bit of a late ramp, but yeah, it is what it is. Most of these cards are not very strong. Awesome. Next thing we're gonna do is to open these booster packs and see what we're gonna get. And then after that, we're going to move on to upgrading the deck itself. Awesome. More of the spark.
Here we go. Man, why is it always so difficult? It's the pressure, just because I'm
making a video. Make sure you don't open the booster pack like a and then you end up doing it anyways, of course. Contentious Plan. Not a bad card. Wow. This would go really well with this deck. Proliferate, and you get to draw a card. Wow. This is something you can definitely play in this deck. Samut's Sprint. Another Courage in Crisis. Shriek Diver. Yep. Guild Globe. Chandra's Pyrohelix. Wow. You tell him how it is, Chandra. Unlikely Aid, one of, hands down, guys, in the War of the Spark story, this is one of the coolest cards ever. This is Gideon riding on Rakdos, trying to attack Bolas. How epic was that? That is just the flavor text here. No one will ever ride me again, Gideon. Accept no further favors. Rakdos, the showstopper. Rakdos, the defiler. I don't know. I'm such a nerd. What can I say? Okay, Sunblade Angel. Liliana's Triumph. Tayo! Tayo! Nice. Boom! Karn's Bastion. This is what the heck is going on? This is another great card because pay 4, tap, proliferate. You should definitely play it in this deck. Awesome. Congratulations, Maori Wargamer. Not bad pulls. And a Swampy and a Zombie army. Nice. Let's move on to the next one.
Put these aside. Actually, let me put this one here so you guys can see what we've pulled so far.
And let's open up the last booster pack. If we're lucky, we might pull something sweet. Let's have a look. Relentless Advance. Another Unlikely Aid. The super cool artwork and story behind it. Flux Channeler. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, proliferate. So for this deck. We don't have a lot of non-creature spells, so no point. Eternal Taskmaster. And Angrat, Captain of Chaos, is our Planeswalker for the War of the Spark. Just to let you know, if you didn't know, War of the Spark boosters, in every booster there's always at least one Planeswalker. Okay, here we go. Fingers crossed. Pauper's Luck. Boom! Tomic, Distinguished Advocist. Fair enough. And a servo token. Awesome. Guys, let's move on to the next part. How can we upgrade the deck? Edit it. Okay, guys, before we move on and have a look into how we can upgrade the Planeswalker deck, I just wanted to give a big shout out to the Maori Wargamer. Thank you so much for providing me with this product so I can make this video. The Maori Wargamer is an awesome dude. He does content on all kinds of types of like console games, tabletop games. I'm gonna put the link to his channel in the description box below. Do make sure that you check him out. He's an awesome dude and his videos are awesome. Okay, let's move on to the next part now. For the first couple of cards, the 2 Courage in Crises and also 2 New Horizons. So there's 4 cards as a playset. I would change these out to, for a playset of Growth Spiral. Now, why I would do that is because Growth Spiral helps with the momentum of your deck. So it actually helps you draw more cards, and it also helps with the ramp part of the deck as well, where it quickly allows you to play additional lands on each of your turns, allowing you to play more powerful cards quicker. Now also, before we move on to the next card, guys, please bear in mind that the upgrade that I will discuss today is only about like making the deck more powerful for about like 10 to 12 bucks. So in no way, shape or form is this like the ultimate way to upgrade this deck in standard. And it's soon it will be rotating out anyway, so it doesn't matter. But around the time when War of the Spark was around and this deck came out, if you want to keep it in standard, upgrade it to those cards. If you would spend around approximately, it's about $10-12. These are the cards that I would suggest, but obviously you can do it your way. Everyone has a different taste. You might have a different take on it, but I think these are some of the better cards, cheaper cards that you can add to the deck. Awesome. Let's move on to the next one. So we do have 2 Ward Scale Crocs. So I would remove these 2 for an additional 2 Bioessence Hydra cards because it synergizes very well with the Planeswalkers in the deck, with Jace himself and also the Kiora that's already in the deck. Bioessence Hydra is one of the, like, it's almost like considered a bomb in the deck. It's really, really powerful. Next one would be 1 Primordial Worm. I would add an additional Kiora Behemoth Beckner. The Kiora Behemoth Beckner is a really good card for this deck. It allows you to draw cards, and you can also untap permanents. Now, when it comes to the permanents part of her ability, I'm going to show you why. 2 stealth missions and 2 lands. Way too many lands. You don't have to play more than 23 lands. A playset of, I would change this for a playset of Paradise Druid. Now, Paradise Druid is a really, really good card. It synergizes really well with Kiora, the Planeswalker, Behemoth Beckner, because Kiora can actually untap the Planeswalker, and every time, sorry, not the Planeswalker, it can untap the Paradise Druid, and every time the Paradise Druid is untapped, it has hexproof, so it allows you to keep that ramp going, keep adding that 1 mana that will allow you to ramp quicker and play more expensive cards earlier. Awesome. Oopsie daisy. Let's move on to the next one. We have 2 Kiora's Dam Breaker. I would change these to 2 other bombs because, as you can see, the Dam Breakers are quite expensive. I would actually change these 2 and put in 2 Rolesk Apex Hybrid. It's a really, really powerful card, especially for this deck. It is a flyer, it has trample, and if it dies, it will allow for that double proliferation, which is absolutely amazing. Not only for the +1/+1 counters, but also for any Planeswalkers that you have in game as well. Another fun fact for you new Magic players, when you play 2-on-2, sometimes the proliferate mechanic is really powerful, because not only do you get to proliferate your own counters, you also get to proliferate your allies' counters as well. Bear that in mind. That's really powerful. Awesome. Moving on to the next one, we have 3 Guild Pack Informants. Pretty weak sauce. These cards are, nothing to be too happy over. I would change these to 3 Evolution Sages. Now, the Evolution Sage is a fairly powerful card because anytime a land enters the battlefield, it allows you to yet again proliferate, make those creatures stronger, make the Planeswalkers stronger, and if you play 2-on-2, you can also help out your ally as well. Awesome, awesome. Next one, we have 3 Jace's Projection and Shabloinks, adding the last playset of the Guild Pact Informant as well. So another playset that we're going to add in for these cards, we're going to put in 4 Growth Chamber Guardians. Now, the Growth Chamber Guardian is a fairly powerful card. The reason why that particular card caught my eye, I actually saw one of the girls in, I think it was World Tour or World Championships. She played it in the standard format, and I was like, wow, that card is actually much more powerful than I thought. It has low mana cost. It's got a really, really powerful ability, as you guys can see. And it just helps with momentum, drawing those other Growth Chamber Guardians, and yeah, it's just a all-round really powerful card. Awesome. Let's move on to the next one, which will be the last two cards, two band together. I would take one band together and swap it for another Planeswalker, and I would probably put in Mu Yanling, the Sky Dancer. It synergizes really well with Kiora's second ability, because as you can see, Mu Yanling second ability brings into the battlefield a 4, I think it's a 4/4. And whenever a creature with power 4 enters the battlefield, when I almost said Kiora is on the battlefield, it allows you to gain more momentum by drawing a card. So that's really awesome. And Mu Yanling also is really good against flyers, because this deck is fairly weak against flying creatures because it doesn't have a lot of reach or flying creatures itself. So the first ability that gets rid of flyers, so that's really, really good. And for the last band together, I would probably put in another Mu Yanling Sky Dancer. You can put in another Kiora or another Rolesk. It's really up to you what you want to do. It just yeah, depends on the play style. But yeah, that's about it. And this shouldn't cost you much more than around 10-12 US dollars. So yeah, if you guys have any other ideas of how you can improve this deck, keeping it in standard and keeping it on a like budget level, obviously let me know. There's so many other cards you can put in. For example, Hydroid Krasis in this deck would be insane, but you know, Hydroid Krasis is a competitive and very expensive card, so we're not even going to go there. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm not going to rabble on for too much longer. I will see you all in the next video. Please make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and like if you enjoy the content. Stay safe, stay happy. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.